Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about the novel Brooklyn by Cole Tobin and its film adaptation. Brooklyn follows the story of Eilish, a girl who lives in a small town in Ireland in the 50s. She has no prospects, and his sister arranges for her to move to New York City and try to make a better life for herself. The book is meant to explore immigration, homesickness, finding yourself in this different place that you know nothing about and where nobody knows you. And it does that to some extent. I really enjoyed it, but as the time passed, I became more and more annoyed with it after I finished reading it. If that's possible. When I finished reading it, I was just like, yeah, okay, that was good. And then as time passed and I thought about it, I didn't like it as much. It has quite a few problems, mostly relating to the portrayal of the main character, which I don't think was well done. I think he managed to build around the main character really well as well, so the world in which she inhabits is interesting, the characters are interesting, the people she meets along the way are interesting, but I think he fails with her. Being myself someone who's moved away from home, this story resonates a lot with me. However, I don't think Eilish is really well developed in this. She seems very compliant. She seems like she has no agency. She just does whatever she's told to do and she goes wherever people tell her to go. And that really bothered me. I know for some of it she is supposed to be depressed because she's so homesick that she can't really deal with life, so she's actually just going along with it and kind of doing what people tell her to do. That's fine. I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about everything, and even her decisions to the very end about who she ends up with, about where she ends up. They all seem to be decisions made for her as opposed to decisions she's made herself, and that bothered me in this. I think the book spends too long in her crossing to the USA. I know it's meant to represent how difficult that move actually is emotionally to her, but you don't need pages and pages of description of how seasick she got. It's unnecessary. Whereas it doesn't explore her homesickness to the same extent. We're reading this from her point of view, but we don't get a lot of her in this. I feel like she is just there. She feels like a shell. She doesn't feel like a person, and I like characters to feel like people. However, the film adaptation ticked every single box and did everything right, in my opinion. I loved it from beginning to end. It doesn't surprise me that Nick Hornby wrote a screenplay because he is brilliant and he can just write anyone. He can write women, he can write men, he can do anything. In this, I feel Eilish has agency. Even though she goes to New York because it was arranged by her sister, she's also looking to build a new life for herself. The choice between two men, which is made very clear by the cover, is also understandable. When she goes back to Ireland to visit her mother and she has a bit of a fling, a bit of an affair with Jim, you understand her, you understand her dilemma, you understand her need to connect to home again. The film makes it really clear the impact going back home makes on her and that she makes on other people. I love the fact that she's wearing a really pretty dress, bright lip, and a really funky and different pair of sunglasses, and you just see her walking down the street and people watching her as if, well, they're very surprised that that person is part of that town. She just doesn't belong there anymore. It's just perfect how they managed to show us how she doesn't feel like she belongs in New York, but she also doesn't belong back home anymore. And where does she belong? And I think she tries to find that through her men as well in this. Jim represents Ireland and Tony represents America in her new life. This is one of those occasions in which the film is vastly superior to the book. The book has a really open ending, and also I never got the feeling that she was happy with her decisions in the book. I got the feeling, as I said, that she was only led to make them because she had no option, whereas in this it's very clear that the ending is her choice. And I love how in the end she has grown so much as a person that she is now able to give advice to someone moving away. She is not the scared, naive girl she used to be at the beginning. I love how the film manages to portray that in a way that just made me cry. I do cry a lot. If you have to choose between one of them, definitely go for the film. It is superior to the book in pretty much every way. Not to mention that Brooklyn became one of my favorite films of all time. Have you seen or read Brooklyn? If you did, and if you think that, well, maybe the book was better than the film, do let me know. And do let me know if you agree with me as well, because, you know, I like when people agree with me. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye!